Hello everyone, I'm Mohammed Shishir and today I'm going to solve this problem called threesome. So this is the next problem of twosome and twosome 2, which is the sorted version of twosome. So for those of you who solved the previous two problems, it's going to be a little easier for you guys to solve this one because we do have to follow some previous approaches here. So let's just go through the description. So they're saying that given an integer array nums, return all the triplets nums of I, nums of j and nums of k such that I not equals j, I not equals k and j not equals k. So I, j and k shouldn't be the same indexes, and nums of I plus nums of j and nums of k equals to 0. So the combination of I, j and k should add up to 0. And notice that the solution set must not contain duplicate triplets. So they're going to give us an array like this one, and we have to return a combination of numbers that add up to 0. So in this case we have two combinations. So yeah, and we cannot have duplicate combinations inside our output array. So yeah, so let's see how we can solve this problem. First of all, let's just sort the numbers, begin and nums dot end, yeah, and int num of nums cout num inline return empty vector. So if we run this one, we should see what the sorted version of the input should look like. Yeah, so it's -4 -1 -1 0 1 2. So if we sort the input array, it should look something like this. So let's go to the board here. I have the sorted version of the input yeah, here. So what we have to do is that we have to run a for loop through the sorted input array, and the the pointer of the for loop, which is going to be I. This is going to be our one of the pointers of our three necessary pointers, and inside the for loop we are going to have another while loop. So in that while loop we are going to have two pointers. For that while loop to run, we are going to have two pointers, left pointer and right pointer. So left pointer will start from the next index of I, so it's always going to be I plus 1. So wherever I is, it's going to be on the next index, and the right pointer is always going to be at the end of the array, or the rightmost index of the array. So yeah, so then what we have to do is that after initializing our for loop and while loop and having three pointers, we just have to add the values of these three pointers. And if the value is if the result of the three, how do I say it, I don't know. So we have three values for the three pointers, right? So if we add them up and if the result is 0, then what we have to do is that we are going to add that combination inside our output array. So if current sum is equal to 0 and the indices of the output, so add the indices to the output array and get rid of the duplicates. So yeah, after adding them to the output array, we are going to get rid of the duplicate numbers. So as we can see, j is pointing, for this example j is pointing at -1, and on the next iteration j is also going to be pointing at -1. So that is going to give us a duplicate combination. so we just have to get rid of this duplicate number. So as long as j has the next number of j is the same number, so we are going to just skip this one. And same goes for the right pointer also. So as long as the previous number of the right pointer is same as the current number, we are going to update the right pointer. So that's pretty much it. And also, if the resultant sum is less than 0, then what we have to do is that we are going to update the left pointer so that we get greater value for the addition. So and if the resultant sum is greater than 0, so we are going to update the right pointer and move it to the left so that we get lesser numbers in the addition. So let's just run through it once and see what we get. So let's say sum. So first in our first iteration, I is going to be pointing at 0 number index, and j is going to be pointing at I plus 1, which is 1 number index, and k is going to be pointing at length minus 1, so the very last index. So what are the values of these pointers or indexes? So for I we have -4, and for j we have -1, so it adds up to -5, and for k we have -2, so it's going to be -3. So the sum is -3 at this point. So what we have to do is that we have to update the left pointer so that we get a higher value, so that the sum becomes more than -3. So at this point, like, unfortunately we are also we are again at -1, so sum is still going to be at -3. So what we have to do is that we have to update the left pointer again. So left pointer is now pointing at 0, so the sum is going to be -4 plus 0, which is -4, plus 2, which is -2. So it's still less than 0, so we are going to update the left pointer again. So it's so it's going to be 1, so the sum is going to be -1 at this point. So again, when we go to the next pointer, like left and right is going to be the going to point at the same index. So while loop is not going to run anymore, and we are going to go to the next iteration of the for loop. So on the next iteration of the for loop is pointing at -1, and left is going to be pointing at the next index. So left is, j is also at -1. So for this combination we have -1 plus -1, which is -2, and plus 2, which is going to be 0. So this is our first combination that adds up to 0. So now we can add this combination to the output array. So so this is how it goes on. It would take a little more time to show the entire steps. Let's just go to the coding part and let's see if it makes sense over there. So so we will, like, after sorting, we will need a result output vector. So output is going to be a vector of vectors of integers. So let's just call it res, and we are going to return res. And now we are going to, let's also have length here. So len is going to be nums dot size. Okay, so I is going to be 0, while I less than len minus 2, because the last two values are going to be for j and k, so we don't need them. So I plus plus, and inside this, for loop, what we are going to do is that we're like, after entering the for loop, we have to see if the previous value and the current value are the same value. So if I greater than 0 and nums of I equal to nums of I minus 1, if that's the case, we just continue so that we can avoid duplicate combinations. Okay, now let's say int j equals I plus 1 and k equals len minus 1. So now if we run the while loop, so j less than k, while we are going to get the sum, calculate the sum here. So nums of I plus nums of j plus nums of k is equal to sum, and if sum equal to 0, then we push that combination. So res dot push back nums of I, nums of j, nums of k, and we also have to remove the duplicates. So while j less than k and nums of j equal to nums of j plus 1, we skip this. Okay, let's do the same thing for k. So for k, we're going to look at the previous index. So if the previous value of k is equal to the current value of k, then we're going to skip those two so that we can skip duplicate combinations. And finally we're going to update the value of j and k. Else if sum is less than 0, so we need a higher value for the addition. So j is going to get incremented, and if sum is less than 0, so k is going to get decremented. So yeah, this should give us the proper combination of numbers. Okay, that didn't work, so it's going to be nums instead of num. So yeah, so if we submit this, it should get accepted. Okay, so this one is done. This was the solution for 3 sum. So what we did here is that we sorted the array first, then this is our output or result, and we just stored the numbers, the length of the array here, that's it. So we ran a for loop, and inside the for loop we are updating the j and k pointer. So every time, inside the for loop, the j pointer is going to be the next pointer of I, and k pointer is going to be the very rightmost point, k is going to be pointing at the rightmost index. So every time we are going to calculate the sum, and if sum is equals to 0, that means we found our correct combination. So we are going to push that combination inside the result array or vector, and then we are going to skip the duplicates for j and skip the duplicates for k, and then update the like pointers. And if sum is less than 0, we just update j, because we need sum to be greater value, so that it does not so that it's not below 0. And if sum is greater than 0, we just update the right pointer, I mean k. So yeah, that's going to give us a value close to 0. So this is it. Now I'm going to solve this in Python. So we're going to follow the same approach here. So let's say size equals length of nums, and we will also need result. So result is going to be an empty array. And oh yeah, we also have to sort the numbers. So nums dot sort, okay, for I in range size -2, and if next if I greater than 0 and nums of I equal to nums of I minus 1. That and okay. Now k is going to be I plus 1, and sorry, j is going to be I plus 1, and k is going to be size -1, while j less than k. We're going to calculate sum. So sum is going to be nums of I plus nums of j plus nums of k. If sum equals 0, then res dot append nums of I, nums of j, nums of k. Okay, now yeah, now update the j so while j less than k, and nums of j equal nums of j plus 1, j plus equal 1, same thing for k. Okay, now j plus equal 1, k minus equal 1, else if sum less than 0, if sum is less than 0, we just update the pointer of j plus equal 1, else k minus equal 1. And yeah, after that we just return res. Let's see if we format this and let's run it. This should, okay. Okay, sorry, this is not the current syntax, I mean correct syntax. So yeah, if this is it, then we continue. Okay, now it should work. Let's run this. Okay, now let's submit this one. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing for Ruby. So again, nums dot sort. Let's see if the numbers are sorted. Okay, it seems they are. So yeah, now len is length, and we also need response or result. So length is going to be nums dot length, and result is going to be empty array. Nums dot each do. Okay, now len dot times do I. Okay, so next, if I greater than 0 and I nums of I equal nums of I minus 1. Now initialize the j and k pointers. So j is going to be I plus 1, and k is going to be length minus 1. Okay, instead of this, let's do len minus 2 times. Okay. Okay, while j less than k, if sum is going to be nums of I plus nums of j plus nums of k. Yeah, now if sum equal to 0, yeah, if sum equals to 0, then we are going to do this. So response is going to be nums of I plus nums of j and nums of k, and so j plus equals 1 while j less than k, and nums of j equal to nums of j plus 1. So if we get duplicates, we are just going to update them. Same thing for k minus equal 1 while k minus. Okay, and lastly j plus equal 1, k minus equal 1. Okay, now j plus equal 1 if sum, we can just do it like this, sum less than 0. If sum is less than 0, then j plus equal 1, otherwise k minus equal 1. Okay, and lastly, after the loop ends, we return response. Let's see if this works. It didn't. Okay, expected, so it got only one. Maybe let's just do this 10 drop times. Let's see what happens. Still okay. Continue. We are continuing. Okay, while no, it is getting the nums of I, nums of j, nums of k. Else if sum less than 0, so j plus equal 1, else k minus equal 1. Okay, it got accepted. Maybe I don't know where the problem was. Let's see. Let's just, sorry for wasting your time. I'm just trying to see where the bug was. So this was not the problem. So this was the problem. Let's see. Okay, what if we do something like this? Is this going to work? Then -2. Maybe it's not going to work. It's going to give us a time limit. Yeah. Okay, maybe it doesn't work like that. I have to look it up. So else if sum less than 0, so j plus equal 1, else k minus equal 1. As long as it works. Yeah, so let's submit this one. Okay, that works. Now let's do this for JavaScript. Okay, this is going to be take less time. I hope so. So len is going to be nums dot length, and res is going to be empty array for let I equals 0, I less than len minus 2, I plus plus. Now if I greater than 0 and nums of I equal to nums of I minus 1, continue. Okay, j equals I plus 1, k equals length minus 1, while j less than k, sum equals nums of I plus nums of j plus nums of k, if sum equals 0, sum equals 0, we'll start push nums of I, nums of j, nums of k, while j less than k and nums of j equal to nums of j plus 1, j plus plus. Sorry about this. This is actually a big, the solution of this problem is kind of big, so it is taking a little bit of time. So j plus plus k minus minus, and else if sum less than 0, j plus plus j plus plus else k minus minus. Okay, return res. Hope this works on the first try. Okay, it didn't. There's nothing in the output. Why is that? So res is empty if I is greater than 0 and I does not have, I have has duplicate, then we continue. J equals to I plus 1, length minus 1, j sum equals to I, j. Case if sum equals 0, then we push. I don't see any problem here. This should work. Why didn't we get anything on the console log sum? Sum is never 0. That's weird. Where did we go wrong? So length is nums dot length and minus 2, which should be okay. If I greater than 0 and I has duplicate, we continue. J plus equals 1, j equals I plus 1, k equals length minus 1. Sum, I don't get it. Oh, we didn't sort the numbers. That's the problem. So nums dot sort a comma b, a minus b. Now it should work as expected. Okay, let's submit this one. It's still getting TLE. Why? We sorted the numbers. If we submit another time, would that work? I don't know. It shouldn't get TLE. Nums dot sort length, again time limit exceeded. Maybe this isn't my day. I don't know what's going on. So let's not console log this. Wow, like this is really something else, isn't it? We just had a console log and it gave us a time limit daily. So yeah, just for a console log it takes that much. Okay, now it got accepted. It didn't. No, it didn't. So it didn't work just because we had a console log. That is something else. Anyways, uh, thank you for watching. This video was a little longer than usual, um, and yeah, it was a tough problem to like solve, and also it has a like the solution of this problem is pretty big. So and also like explaining the problem was a difficult part. So thank you for bearing with me. Hopefully next time I will bring some more problems in front of you guys. Thank you for watching. Allah Hafiz.